So today I was thinking and want to talk to you about how you need to stop trying to grow and start fixing the leaks in your business. If we haven't met before, hi, my name is Adam Keeler, live in North Dallas. I took my startup all the way to $1 million a year in revenue, hired a bunch of people, threw money at marketing, and I almost collapsed my business. I thought surely having $1 million a year in revenue business would mean that I had made it. But that was not the case. And so I had to go through trying to figure out why my business almost collapsed. And in the process of doing that, I was able to find the things, fix it, and now I have a business that runs on its own. Right now, my business, I've got employees doing installs, I've got a leadership team that's meeting right now, and I'm here on a walk talking with you. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, is to help pass this information forward. And I'm putting everything that I've learned over the course of these past few years into this YouTube channel for free so that you can have. And if you, side note, and if you want personalized help, then you can find more information if you click on the link below. Otherwise, just keep watching this YouTube channel. All right, so the idea of growing, and instead of growing, what you need to do is fix the leaks in your business. What I mean by that is, I'm going to tell you this story. I built my business all the way to $1 million a year in revenue from free Google My Business and Google Leads. And there was a product that I was selling that I got leads from them for free, and I had referrals. That was enough to build my business all the way to $1 million a year in revenue. And we were growing year after year. And I thought the next step was, wow, we're going to, we doubled the last 3 years in a row. We're going to double again. Sorry, I'm going to sit down. My arm hurts. I don't know why I didn't bring my pole so I could just put my camera on it. So I honestly thought that we could grow the business to $2 million, because if we had doubled 3 years in a row, that this growing from $1 million to $2 million, that would be easy. That's like the next logical thing to do. And just a side note, it is not easy to do that at all. I later found out that there's actually this roadblock at $1 million that all businesses go through. And because of that, it's actually really hard to get over that roadblock or that hurdle to be able to get to $2 million. You essentially have to change your business completely. What I ended up doing is I thought, if I want my business to double, then I need more leads. And I thought, okay, well, how hard can it be? So I ended up throwing a lot of money at leads. So we were spending anywhere between $5,000 and $15,000 a year in marketing, and like door hangers or flyers, whatever. And we jumped it all the way to $50,000. So we're spending, I think it was about $35,000 to $40,000 more on marketing. And I was like, look at that. We're gonna crush it. And then the way that I thought would happen is, because we were going to get all of these jobs, I'm going to have to start hiring installers. And so I hired all these installers. I knew that it would take some time to train them well. And week after week, I kept saying, no, don't worry, it's going to come. It's going to come. And my sales guy could never quite catch up to how quickly my install team could install. And we're slowly losing all this money on marketing, and then money on just keeping people around, because darn it, I thought it was coming and it never came. And so in total, I probably wasted about $75,000 trying to double my business and doing it the wrong way. And what I mean by that is, if you imagine this bucket and you're pouring in water, which are leads, into this bucket, Yes, that extra money, we got a lot of leads, but imagine the bucket also has these large holes. So as you're pouring water in, water's spewing out tiny holes and large holes, and the more leads you get, you're still only going to get the same amount of leads that stick, because all the extra leads that you were spending money on are flying out of your bucket. And that's what happened with us. The first time I noticed it was we got this Facebook agency to run ads, and the ads did really well. We got a lot of leads, but it clogged up. We had Jill's office back then. They answered our phones. It clogged up our phones, so we were spending more money on answering these phone calls with people who were just kind of interested. And then um, the way that we had it set up is, if you wanted a quote, it had to be on the schedule with our sales guy. And he can only do so many appointments a day and a week. And so that got filled, which is awesome, until we realized most of these people weren't even wanting to buy, even though we had pre-qualifying questions. And the people who did want to buy would call in and we'd say, oh, we're like a month booked out for our sales appointment to get a quote. And they're like, no, I'll just go with somebody else. And then they bought with somebody else. So we're missing out on people who actually want to buy. And so I was freaking out. And so one of the holes we fixed was being able to give a quick quote. So the turnaround was that day, sometimes the next day. They could get a quote right away. We wouldn't go over to their house to talk to them. We would just send it to their email, and it fixed a lot of this problem. And so people who were just interested just got a quick quote. Everybody else who wanted it actually got on the schedule. But it wasn't until later, when I was actually thinking about it, and I thought, well, what if we put $100,000 or $200,000 into getting more leads? Would we still only get the same amount of work done? And the answer was yes, because the way the business was set up, we could only handle so many sales appointments. We could only handle so much work. And just the process of communication, once there was too many people, it was harder for my team to communicate with everybody and make sure all the customers were satisfied. And so I'm telling you this whole story to say that I got stuck in the growth mode just to grow, because I thought that's just the pattern that I was in. I thought that's what I just kept doing and kept going. And it's like, well, when do you stop? And if you would have asked me, I would have no idea when I stopped. I'd say, well, I don't know, when I guess the cap of we are in lighting, so the cap of what lighting businesses usually get to, which I wasn't sure. I thought it was about $2.5 million. So I'm like, maybe that's where we stop. And so when we hit that hurdle at $1 million, I have another video about that on my channel that talks about the hurdle. So feel free to check that one out. So the point is, I got stuck in the growth mode, and you might also be stuck there too, or you might be about to be stuck in it. And when you're stuck in it too long and you don't patch these holes that you have, some of these holes you might not even have, and they'll show up when you pour too much. It'll like burst part of it, because it's like with what I did, we poured lots of leads in, and now our calendar was clogged with leads, and that was a hole that burst out. And so if you don't fix these holes, no matter how much you're pouring in, how much you're trying to grow, you'll still do pretty much about what you normally do. And if you do any more, then you're probably doing way more work than you should, and you'll get burnt out. And so just patch up these holes. It doesn't have to be all of them, but patch up the big ones, and then over time locate all the smaller ones too and patch those up, so that when you decide to pour a lot more, you can handle it all. Don't pour when you have all these holes. So hopefully that made sense. So moral of the story, don't get stuck in constant growth mode. Fix the holes first, and then you can grow after that. So I had this awesome video training in the link below, where I go over the 3 steps of getting your business where it is, where you're the one that's lifting up your business and your team, and it's on your shoulders. to taking it where I've been able to take mine, where it runs on its own. You have a team that runs on its own, it has the right foundation. Getting from there all the way to it running on its own is hard, but the hardest part is knowing how to do it and what to do. And so this video that I have walks through the 3 steps to get there, and I go into depth and I write everything out so that you can see things visually. If you're interested in learning how to get your business to run on its own so that you can do the things that you love in your business, or maybe even be out of your business, then click on the link below and I'll see you there.